So Megan, oh, we're recording, but so I'll start, and then I'll go, and then I'm gonna toss it to you for what we talked about,
Oh,
and
okay. Perfect.
then Kyla's gonna go after
Oh,
me.
okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
All
for
right.
it.
So Kyla and I wanted to share a little bit about the from the training that we have with Josh Coates, The Art of Recruiting, and it's a 4-week training. So each week he does a different video, and the videos range from like an hour long to like our last one was 3 hours long. So they were jam packed full of information. So we are just going to kind of share some of the highlights with you guys today. We're not going to go into like detail because that obviously we couldn't fit it all into one meeting. So I did make a PowerPoint. Sorry, Kyla. Just because it's just how I function. I just can't. I can't help it. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and share screen. Hold on. Okay. Why is it so little? Okay, slideshow. Okay. Okay. So can everybody see it? Thumbs up. Yes. Okay. So he started a couple of the calls with this, and I think it's so important and something that it really was like an aha moment for me that there always needs to be inspiration followed by information, but make sure to make time for implementation. And I think that when we do our PD every day, like that's our inspiration, right? Like you're wanting to find more information about something that you're inspired by, but then making sure that you take the time for that implementation. And like I was thinking about when we went to Super Saturday, like you left there so inspired and you had all this information. I had this notebook like full of all this really good ideas, but then I didn't like schedule the time to like implement what I had learned. So he kind of suggested whenever you're doing any kind of personal development or you do a training like the one Kyla and I were doing, like setting aside a time like that week, whether it's like 10 minutes each day and like adding it into your power hour, but going ahead and like setting a specific time to actually implement everything that you've learned. If not, and like I see that in my like job too. Like I'll go to trainings and get all these great ideas, but then I like forget, you just keep going on and you just forget about it. So I want to encourage all of you to set some time aside this week to try and implement, if you aren't already, some of these things. Okay, so I'm going to go through really quick a couple things that I think are just we've gone over a lot before, but the whole first call was about really like posting and your brand and how you are really advertising yourself. So just constantly sharing your story, and each day having like a different reason for sharing your story, whether it's Motivation Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Woman Crush Wednesday. I like Workout Wednesday, Wine Wednesday, really whatever you want. Throwback Thursday, Flex Friday. And then he does encourage, and I know Megan has encouraged all of us to do this as well, to do a coaching opportunity post every Sunday night. And that's something that when I talked with Molly the end of last month, that's like a goal of mine, is to try and start doing more of those. And I know that it's hard when we're just starting because we don't have all of these like great things to share about these trips we've gone on or this like huge income that we're making, but we can be sharing more about what this coaching opportunity has done for us, like how it's helped us to empower others and motivate others, and how it helped maybe pay for a week of daycare, or you were able to go out and buy some new bikinis because you're just helping other people and you're getting paid for it too. So just trying to be more consistent with that, and then just also keeping up with your other 3 to 5 posts a day that we've talked about before. So I'm not going to really get into that. And we talked last week about your brand, but really he just emphasized the importance of everything really being connected to your brand, like your posts and your pages. So if you have a like page, and making sure that he really talked a lot about like the cover photo looking really professional, because it's basically like your website for your business. And, that's what the National Wake Up Call was all about, was having that business mindset and like deciding that this is a business that you want to grow. So look at if you have a Facebook like page, as that's like your website, but even your own personal page, like your profile picture, your cover photo, like that is showing a piece of you. and it should all really connect to what your brand is, which is what are your interests and what are your strengths. But really just be you, and he just talked a lot about just living your life and just putting it all out there and not trying to be someone else. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, because he does talk about how it's good to like look at other people's stuff and get ideas from other people, but to not necessarily copy them, like to always be you, but you can look to other people for inspiration. And then just always remembering that we are not selling, like we're selling ourselves. It sounds bad, but like we're not selling just Beachbody products. Like people can go to anyone and buy, or they can go on Amazon and buy 21 Day Fix, and they do. But we really want them to buy it through us. Like, so we're selling our personalities, our how we motivate others, what our interests are, so that people will connect with us and not just go and buy them somewhere else. Okay, so this is like one of his like quotes that he says all the time. And he just encourages us to be as arrogant as a rock star, but as humble as a homeless person. So he talks a lot about like what is stopping you from posting as if you were a celebrity, or like a top 10 coach, or an elite 15-star diamond. Like we all follow them, and like you don't think twice when they post like a sweaty selfie every single day, or when they post themselves with a shake. But I find myself being like, oh, I posted a sweaty selfie yesterday, like I don't want to do that again, like I don't want to annoy people. But like, do any of us get annoyed when they do it? No. But like for some reason, but it's okay for them to do it because they're like so successful and they have all these followers, and that makes it okay. But he just kind of talked about, well, if you want to get to that status and you want to be at that level, then you have to start thinking like them and basically posting as if you are them. And like people are already following you because they're interested in what you have to say, and they haven't defriended you on Facebook because they're looking and they're reading and they are kind of interested in what you have to say. Just because they're not commenting or liking what you're saying doesn't mean that they're not watching you. So he just said, share everything really about your life, and it doesn't have to be all the perfect things. Like sharing those imperfections are what's going to make you relatable to other people, and that's why they're going to want to join you. And really just like stop caring about what other people think. And I think that that's really hard in the beginning, but I know like that's something that I've had to get over as well, and not feeling like I'm annoying people, because like he said, basically think about like a celebrity, right? So does everybody have like a person that they really like to follow? Yeah. Okay. So like mine would probably be like Carrie Underwood. Okay. Like I just, for some reason, like love her. I love her style. I just like love the way she carries herself. I love the fact that she is a businesswoman and she's a mom, and like she'll post about like her kid, then she'll be posting about her like rocking out on stage, and then she's posting like a sweaty selfie, and then she's promoting her fitness line. Like she does it all, but like nobody thinks anything of it because she's Carrie Underwood, right? Like I'm not Carrie Underwood, but like I don't know why I shouldn't be posting as if like I was. Like, what's stopping you basically from doing that? So, okay, so I don't really like to read off of, but I didn't want to forget something from here. So he said, think about what you would be willing to do and say if you were a 15-star diamond elite coach. But we aren't willing to do that because we don't have that status. You have to do the things that successful people do in order to become like them. And you can't wait for the big things to happen to start acting successful. You have to do those successful things in order to get you there. So don't wait until you have that status, but act like it in order to get there. Okay. So so you're doing all this posting and you have people liking your posts, and, but then you need to really start converting them. So he really went into some scripts, and I know Molly and Megan have shared these before, so I'm just going to share them again and kind of go through. He really went through more of scripts, and I just want to put a little plug in here as well. Like today on our Power Hour this morning, I was talking to Megan about a transformation post that I did last week, that got like a lot of likes on it, because you know a lot of our transformation posts or posts that we're putting up, they'll get a lot of likes but not a lot of comments, because a lot of people don't really like know what to say, but they'll like. So you might have a lot of likes but not a lot of comments. So I had like 90 some likes on my post last week. So I went to go through and see how many people were actually new people, like that I had never talked to before, and it was like 7 of like the 90 some that I had like never talked to before, that were like new people that I could reach out to. And I said that to Megan. She's like, okay, well then that sounds like a network problem. Like you're running out of people to talk to, which is so true, because I was not really adding to my network in June because I was so busy with the end of the school year. And it's what we talked about last week about how as you start out, your network is so big and then it starts to go down. Like I feel like I need to really pick up with growing my network, because putting all these posts out isn't going to really do much, because I'm just the same people are seeing it, and I've already talked to a lot of them. So and Josh does talk about how Brittany Powers basically says that she thinks that adding to your network daily should be, well, he said the 4th. This was before they added the 4th. So it should really be like the 5th vital behavior of like, you need to be growing your network daily. So I just wanted to put a plug in there before I went on to that. So you're posting all the time. How do you convert people who are liking your posts into challengers or coaches? Because we are talking, the training was really about recruiting as well. Okay, so these are like very specific, and you could take them like this, or you could like tweak them to make them sound like you. There are the links, like there are scripts like these already in the team page, but I'll add these as well. So basically, thank you so much for liking my posts. I appreciate it so much when people support my journey and send positive vibes my way. Are you on a health journey too? Okay, so they're going to say either no or yes. No, I'm not on a health journey, but you've inspired me. But, and then they have an excuse like, you know, I don't have enough money. I don't have any time. I don't know, I'm too busy, whatever. So you say, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm so glad that I've been inspiring you. That has been the reason why I post so much. I know you said that and you're restating their excuse. I know you said that you are short on money right now, but I'd love to help. I actually run week-long free accountability groups each month. Would you be interested in more details? So you're restating their excuse back to them, but then you're ending it with an invitation. Like he said, like a lot of times what people will do is they like form people to death, and he's like, people will spend like 9 months talking about their cat and they like never got around to the invitation. So he's like, just get right to it. Like you're understanding that they have these objections, and Kyla's going to talk more about objections, but basically like, would you be interested in just like giving a try, like trying my free group? Yes. Okay. All right. So then they say, yes, I'm on a healthy journey and this is what I've been doing. I've been doing CrossFit, or I go to the gym every day, or I've been doing bar classes or whatever. So then you can say, well, so that's when you're going to really lead into the coaching opportunity with them, which is something that I had not been doing. So that is so awesome to hear. I'm so proud of you for putting yourself first and for taking the time to invest in yourself. Have you ever considered paying it forward and helping others to do the same? So they're probably going to say, oh, well, you know, I've never done any Beachbody programs. And they're going to say, I love CrossFit, or I love what I'm doing. Say, like, I understand that. But like, would you be willing to give one of our programs a try? Because like Beachbody is really the only like company that offers you the opportunity to pay it forward and to help you make an income without getting any type of certification. Like you don't need to become a personal trainer. You don't have to be certified to teach classes. Like you can just share your story and share your journey that you're already on and like make money off of it. So basically like taking what they're already doing, but basically twisting it to say like, is what you're doing right now, are you going to be able to make a profit off of it? Or can you really pay it forward and help others along in the same way? Okay. So then when you do your coaching posts on Sundays, or really if you do them throughout whenever you're doing them, for all these people, all the people that like your coaching posts, which hopefully will be some new people and not like me, all the same people. Hey, thanks so much for liking my post. I really appreciate it. Have you ever wondered what I do as a health and fitness coach? And Josh like really stressed the importance of like just sending that. And he's like, I know people might think that that sounds salesy, but like, if you're all in, this is like, that's what's going to open up the conversation. And then they're going to say, I've been watching you, but like, what do you really do? And you can basically just say, well, I encourage, I inspire, I run free challenge groups for people, and I get paid to basically help others. Like, would you be interested in hearing more about it? And that's really it. Okay. So then he talked about how, and this is something that I know we've talked about before, but for every 10 messages you send, like 9 people are probably going to ignore you. So basically you just need to message more people. And he said the main difference between top coaches and other coaches is that they just talk to more people every day, and they're messaging more people, and they're having more conversations every day. And that's why they're able to convert that many more sales and that many more coaches, because they have that many more conversations going on. Okay. So that's really my part. So I think, yep. So another thing that oh, thanks, badass. Like, oh, thanks. I do love her legs. Okay. So the other thing he did talk about was the use of Instagram and how to really use Instagram to grow your business, and how to seek out people that would be perfect for the coaching opportunity on Instagram. And I know Megan's next call in 2 weeks is more on Instagram, but I asked her to hop on and talk a little bit about this portion of the training because it's something that she has been able to implement since she had the training a couple months ago.
All right, guys. Before I hop into that, I took notes as you were going, and I just want to yes, we'll upload slides. I just want to go back and say a few things, if that's okay. But you guys can totally do that for me if you come across something I should elaborate more on. So I think this was actually a good point, how you were talking about the, we fill ourselves up with inspiration and we need the implementation to do it. I think that kind of goes perfectly with what someone else said today in the team page about they're doing all this personal development, but they're running out of time for other things, but they are getting in their personal development. And when you dig a little bit deeper, are people spending way too much time on it? Maybe. Are they not spending enough? Maybe. But if you're just doing your, 30 minutes a day, 10 to 30 minutes a day, listening, reading to something, whatever, you don't need to be going back and listening to all the national wake-up calls from the last year, anything like that. Just catch up on this week's, and that's it. But if you're doing too much personal development, you're not able to implement it. And so it's just like those notebooks that we take notes in. It's just all sitting there in our heads. And it's just bogging us down more because we want to do all these things and we have no idea where to begin. So just pick a good amount of time that is good for you, and don't feel like it's not enough. If you're doing 10 to 30 minutes a day, it's perfect. And then what you said about be as, like that one too, when he says humble as a homeless person.
Yeah, arrogant as a rock star.
And humble. Yeah. So that kind of goes, for me, it made me think of when we're talking about, do things that top coaches are doing, do things that the 15 star diamonds are doing, things like that. But if your goal is not to be top 10 coach and go to Bora Bora, if your goal is not to, be 15 star in a year, that's fine. Those really aren't my goals. But you still want to come across in those ways like they do. They're putting themselves out there, they're sharing, but you want to be humble about it. You don't want to come off fake. So you want to tell what you can tell at your part in this journey. So I think that's important. So definitely don't be afraid to, post. You see Brittany Powers on there posting, I think I counted it. She posts 6 times a day. So I'm trying to up my game like Brittany Powers, but that doesn't mean I want to be number 10 in the company. It just means I'm trying to get my name out there more, find more people, inspire more people. So just be real about it though, but you can still be like them. And the thing about growing your network. So this is where I always say, don't give a crap. Like, just let it go and hit post and be done with it. And if you're doing that, if you're growing your network, it becomes easier and easier and easier to just hit post and to know that, like, doesn't matter if I posted a Transformation Tuesday last week, like, I'm going to do it again this week because, you know, if I had 5 people a day, I just added 35 to 40 new friends this week. And none of them saw it last week unless they went and Facebook stalked me. So if you think about it that way, if you're adding to your network, doing these intentional weekly posts all the time are not a big deal, and they're important. And yeah, and then the only other thing was, like I said, if whatever your goal is, we need to work backwards from that. So, you know, top 10 goal is obviously different than our goal because they're able to message all day. They're just messaging more people. But we need to think about it as if, what is your goal? If it's to cover your Shakeology, we need to find a good number for you. If you're already messaging 3 people a day, and I can tell you firsthand when I was talking to Lacey from corporate, she was saying just a month ago, how many people are you messaging a day? And I said, like 3 on Facebook. And she was like, and you're at SC2 and it's like last week of the month. And I was like, yeah. She's like, so we got to up your numbers. You got to message more. So I'm not messaging more to be this top coach. I'm messaging more just to hit my personal goals. So we went from 3 to 10, and that's what I do. And so you just got to pick what works for you. If you're messaging 1 a day and it's not working, go to 2, go to 3, go to 4, go to 5, whatever you got to do. But it's important to get those messages out. Okay, so I have a little PowerPoint. It's nothing exciting, but I never do them, so I'm excited. Let's see. How do I do this? Okay, can you guys see that? Can you guys, yes, okay. How do I get big? Okay, so for me, I took some time to think about what Josh's group is called, The Art of Recruiting. And for me, I want it to like resonate with you guys and to be more comfortable with talking about just growing a solid team, because I know the word recruiting like makes people feel icky at times. But I think recruiting is important in that this is the way the business is going to grow. You have to build a solid foundation, foundation for your team. So it's all in the mindset. So kind of like our girl said on the National Wake Up Call yesterday, you just have to get into the mindset that recruiting is okay. Like, it's what this business is about. It makes people feel icky, but it's only makes you feel icky when you're not recruiting the right way. So if you're just sending message after message after message to all these people and you didn't take 2 seconds to scroll back, a week's worth of posts and find out they were working for another MLM or they are already a coach, like, you're not being intentional about who you want to build your team with. So just get in your heads, like, recruiting is not a dirty word if you use it the right way. Like I said, to grow your business, it requires a team effort. Think about when you're recruiting who you are. Think about you, who your best friend is, and who they are. That's the type of person that you're going to want to look for in people. The qualities that you admire that, aren't like you. So I have plenty of friends who are much more outgoing than me. They're like in business. I'm not in business. They, I don't know. They're all snazzy with their outfits, like Molly, and everybody is, fashionable and trendy. And I know nothing. I wear $5 Target t-shirts. But those are people that I admire. So I would reach out to people like that as well, because I feel like they can bring something else to the table that I couldn't. Think about who really could benefit from this opportunity. So even if it's somebody you're like, well, they're out of shape, they wouldn't be a good coach right now. Not true. They have no business experience. not true. They're in debt over their eyeballs and they're struggling right now with being let go of a job. This could be something that helps them, like in all aspects of life, changing their life for them. So don't be afraid to like look into people like that as well. And for me, it's been like you have to go outside of your warm market and start expanding to people and offering the business opportunity, because the majority of the people that you intentionally ask to join you as a coach are all going to say no. And it's going to be people you would have never expected. It's just the way it works. Even the top coaches in the company, their teams are all made up, like their leaders and builders are people that they just met through the internet. It's not their best friend. It's not, their neighbor, things like that. So you are going to have to go outside your comfort zone. So putting it into action. So just like we make a list of people to invite to challenge groups, make a list of everyone and anyone that falls into those categories of people that we talked about. Choose a number of people that you are comfortable with to present the business opportunity a day, and 0 is not an option. I know that might sound daunting, like 1 a day, like, oh my God, or, 7 a week, whatever. But for, like we said, for every 9 people out of 10 people you send a message to, 9 of them aren't going to read it. And one of them will even maybe just read it and respond like, nah, probably not for me, but what is it that you do? Like, you never know. So just be confident in why you're a coach. Know that you're in this for the right reasons. You all are. I know that. You know that. And you have something to share. So don't be afraid to share that and offer that to people. Write out why you okay, so I just kind of said that. Write out why you're doing this, what it's given to you. And, like Katie said, not just all the financial stuff, but, a team, a community, more accountability for your own health and fitness, just fun, like something healthy and good for you to spend your extra time on doing. Whatever it may be, travel, leisure, anything. Present the opportunity, and that's what you would tell people about. So if you're like, well, I don't have, I can't tell them that I make $1,000 a week yet. Well, I don't want you to really even tell people that kind of stuff, because then they might be getting into it for the wrong reasons anyway. I want you to tell them, your heart behind it, how you got into it, what it meant to you when your coach asked you to be a coach, and tell them all of that. And you're really looking at them like, I see you and me, and I know that I'm a kick-ass coach, and I know you could be a kick-ass coach too. And then present the opportunity to that number of people per day, whether it's via messenger, email, Instagram, or even face-to-face. So, you're meeting up with friends, and one of them is somebody you'd like to ask, or they're like, what is this side hustle business you got going on? Don't be afraid to tell them about it. Like, you should be confident in it. Why? Like, you guys are confident here. You're confident in our challenge groups. You're confident in our own coach, fitness groups. Like, be confident to the rest of the world. It's nothing to be ashamed of, because you have nothing but positives coming out of this. And then just like our girl Shalene says, be brief, be bright, I think it's a little bit different, but be brief, be bright, be fun, be done. So keep your message about the coaching opportunity brief. Don't sit there and, beach body vomit all over them. Just like Josh said in his thing, hey, have you ever considered what I do as a coach? That's pretty much it. So Katie kind of took some of the templates already that I had, but it's fine. I like this one because it gives them an out. So you might think this is crazy, and that's okay, but I have to ask. I've been seeing your journey. So if it's somebody that you've been seeing posting something inspirational, posting quotes, posting a recipe, posting, that they're outside playing with their kid, whatever. I think you'd kind of be an amazing addition to our team. Have you ever considered what I do as a coach? And that's it, nothing else. And then whenever they reply, or if they don't, just in a few short sentences what you do. And none of it has to do with the word Shakeology. None of it has to do with Autumn. Nothing has to do with, Insanity Max 30. It's just I work with people and inspire them every day, one-on-one in a private setting online, and I help them achieve their health and fitness goals. Because that's what we do, right? Okay, and then your cold market. So, like I said, most of my team and all of the coaches that are on here and in the downline are people that I never even asked. They're people that just came to me, or I asked months later, not because they were in their team or in the challenge group and they were a great challenger, just happened to be these were people that could see and follow and wanted to coach. So look outside your warm market. Search for people in the Explore tab in Instagram. So the Explore tab in Instagram, as you're on Instagram and you're liking photos and you're following people, the Explore tab takes all that information and it kind of pulls people it thinks you might like, or pictures and posts, things like that. So you can go in there and be like, oh, do I like, I think that's actually how I connected with Heather Holland. I found her and a recipe. Awesome picture, great recipe. I think it was probably for her buffalo sweet potato crockpot recipe. And so I continued to read on, and I went to her page and I looked at it, and she was genuinely someone that I felt I could connect with. So that's what I did. So if there's someone that you can see yourself being friends with, adding value to your team and to other people's lives, those are the people that you want to ask. Reach out to them, let them know you like what they have going on, and just build a relationship. You don't have to jump into do you want to coach right now? The first, 30 seconds you know them. I would advise against that totally. And then as you just build a relationship with them, and it's not, talking on the phone every day or texting all the time, it's just a few simple conversations here and there, getting to know about them, their family, things that are going on in their life, you're going to find out, could they benefit from this and a solution that you have to give them. And then just track every person that you are asking, whether it's you found 2 people through Explore that you liked their pages and you wrote down their handle names, or on Facebook, or whether it's, and then in a couple weeks go back and see if they're still uplifting and motivating, inspiring, and talk to them, or whether you already sent that message, track them, track all the names. Yeah, and so that's it. That's what I got. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Yes? Okay, good. Anything that I kind of missed or didn't touch on for that part, Katie?
Could you just talk really quick about, just because I haven't really tapped into that, because Crowdfire now you can only do 25 people a day. So now he referred to Instagrass, which I haven't really used yet, but you said you had, so.
Yeah. Okay, so Crowdfire used to be the app that you could link to your Instagram and go in and search a user. So for instance, say Carrie Underwood, and it would bring up all of her followers that were engaging in her posts. And you could just hit follow, all the way down the list. They cracked down, and I guess, I don't know, something happened, whatever. But now you can't do that. So what you can do is there's something called Instagrass, or you can do it the free way. I prefer the free way. You just go into Instagram. I'll talk about Instagrass in a second, but the free way, because I think we all should just do it free, does take a few minutes more of your time. So figure out what's valuable to you. You go into Instagram and you look up Carrie Underwood, and you just start looking through her followers. And if it's somebody in their profile picture with a name that you think you might like, just start following them. But Instagrass, so you can pay, I think it's I think you can do a trial of it actually for a week, 10 days, and then a month.
$10.
Yeah, what is it, $10 for 7 days?
Yeah, let me look. I
think it's
$10 a month, and you
Yeah.
can try it free for just 3 days, though.
Oh,
You can
okay.
do
That's free for 3 days. So what you do is you go in and you link it to your Instagram, and you can tell it to like, comment, follow, and unfollow people for you. So I don't have it comment on anything, because this is where I'm sure you've all seen it. You get people that comment on your photos, and it's like another coach, and they're like, so inspirational, thanks for sharing. That's because they have the comment part checked on. And I think that that's like, I don't like that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I would turn that off. But you want it to like for you. You want it to follow and unfollow. So what it will do is it will go into pictures and photos of hashtags that you set up, and it will like photos based off of that. Then it will go into users who hashtag what you have set up as hashtags, and it will follow them. You can set it up to follow a certain amount, and then once it follows that certain amount, say like 1,000, it will click over to unfollow. And anybody that didn't follow you back, it will unfollow them for you. So I did it free for the 3 days, and I think I went from like, let's see, I started at like 2,400 after I stopped doing Crowdfire. I did it free for the 3 days, and I was over 3,000. So, I mean, you never know who in those extra 600 people could turn into someone. But if you think about the 1 in 10 rule, like that could turn out to be a lot of people. Now, are all those people, they're probably a lot of them are like spammy. But when I go in and I'm like sitting there, you know, just killing time, I'll just go in and unfollow people. Or Instagram will do that for me. And then, you know, it just gets more eyes on your posts and more people liking, so you have more people to reach out to. And this is a good thing to share too. So even though I went up in over 600 followers, like in a few days, the amount of people that were liking my posts were even more. So I think I went from like maybe getting like 15 to like 30 likes, depending on whatever I posted at the time before Instagram. And now my posts are anywhere from like 50 to 100 likes. And it's just because, and I'm not adding hashtags into the post. It's just because I'm growing my following. So all these people are seeing it more frequently. So yeah, I don't know. I would kind of suggest maybe everybody set it up for 3 days, test it out. And Katie, does he have a video on how to work it, like set it up? I know he did that for Crowdfire.
Yeah, he did a separate video.
Okay, maybe we could put
like
that in.
Video about Crowdfire, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, this doesn't work anymore." He's like, "Oh," so then he did like a supplemental one.
Well, are we able to like copy that and get it in here somehow, or is it like on YouTube?
Is there a way? Yeah, I think. I'll look.
Or at least we can find it and post it to the team page, or I can do one. But if you already did it,
let me look.
Okay. And so I don't want everybody to get bogged down about like, oh, something else that costs more money. But think about where you are now, and think about how your business has been going. At some point, you are going to hit a tough spot because you've run out of people to contact. And even if you're adding to your network every day, like I do, that is like the first thing I do in the morning. It takes 20 seconds. You're still going to run out of people to talk to. So it's kind of why like I think that Instagram is really important and something to focus on. Because I mean, there are coaches that solely focus on Facebook and have built their entire business off their personal page and then moved over to their like page when they reached 5,000 friends. But if you don't have some sort of following already on your like page, you're going to have to get all those 5,000 friends on Facebook to convert to likers on your like page or to your Instagram. And I don't know, it just makes me nervous. How many times do people say like, I know when I've posted like things about my like page, I get like no traction. Like nobody goes over there and follows it and likes it. So it just makes me nervous using Facebook personal for everything. I think it should be used, and I think it's totally fine to use until you max out, but I think you should pretty much be sharing it all on Instagram as well and growing that as you can. And Instagram seems like, for me, it's been working. So for like $10 a month and a write-off, it's been worth it. Even for those days when you don't have someone new on a post on Facebook to message, go to one of your Instagram posts and pull up those, 50 some likes or 20 likes or whatever. And I guarantee you there's probably like at least 3 to 5 people in there you can send a message to that we've been talking about tonight. Thanks for liking my post, or the business op, something like that. And those are people. So yeah, that's my Instagram spiel.
Okay, Tyler, you ready? Object.
Ready?
All right.
Okay. All right, I object. So I don't have a fancy PowerPoint. I work off of my iPad, so I don't know. Anyways, so you just get to look at this and this now. So first, I just have to say thank you both to Megan and Katie, because the reason that I did this training is because I actually won it when we did a call with Josh Coates, if you guys remember. So that was really cool. So thank you for that call. And Katie is just a rock star go-getter and a good friend. And she signed up and did it with me so we could like bounce ideas off of each other. And we both had a really crazy month of May while this was going on. So we were constantly like, good idea, write that down, remember it, like implement later, because, well, the time was rough in May for both of us. So my portion I'm going to talk about is overcoming objections. And I think we all know that if you are working this business and you're doing it correctly, you're going to run into a lot of objections. And that's good, because that means that you are talking to people constantly. Because like Katie said before, you message 10 people, 9 of them are going to ignore you, or they're going to, come back with something that's difficult to work with. So part of this portion of talking about objections, you can really use a lot of it for talking to people who are giving you objections for buying challenge packs, and also for becoming a coach, because this group was specific about recruiting, but a lot of the objections are the same thing, right? Time and money. That's what everybody uses as their go-to excuses for everything. So some of this stuff we can use in daily conversations, in getting people to buy challenge packs as well. So the thing that he said that I thought was really cool was he used the analogy of everything that we need to know and we need about our business, we've already learned about our health journey, which I think was really cool. So he kind of related everything to the first time that we signed up. So when we bought a challenge pack, like we were probably excited about it. We were also a little hesitant, nervous, like, is it going to work? I don't know. I've seen it work for other people, but can it really work for me? Do I have the time to put into this? And so we were, scared and unsure, but we were also excited about it. So I think that's kind of probably the same way that a lot of us felt with jumping in for coaching. Like, you're not really sure. I'll give it a try. It's worked for other people, but I don't know if I can make it work for me. And, day one, we didn't, see results. We didn't lose, 5 pounds on the first day of drinking Shakeology and working out. But, little by little, slowly as time went on, we saw results. And even at the end of, the first month or the first 21 days or whatever, program that we did, we probably still didn't see like ultimate results. Like, awesome, this gave me a glimpse into what can be. We've experienced a transformation of sorts, but we're not, just there yet. And so a lot of that is exactly how it goes in the business as well. You get a glimpse of it, like maybe, you have beginner's luck, so to say, or you have that big, huge, like open market to start with, and you like knock it out of the park your first month, and, and you get a little bit of taste of that, but then, you realize that you have to really keep working at it and keep with it. So I thought that was really neat, and it made a lot of sense to me. It just kind of clicked with me. And along those lines, when we decided and committed to doing a program, like we didn't let somebody talk us out of it, right? Like we didn't stop. We may have had people that made fun of us for doing it, or like, what are you drinking? Or why do you have that small container and you expect me to think that that's what you're eating today? But we were committed, like we made the decision, and we didn't let anybody talk us down or talk us out of that, or we wouldn't be sitting here today or listening to this call today. So why do we let people talk us down and talk us out of the business? And we don't necessarily, if you're on this call and listening, you haven't. However, I think it's much easier for people to play to our insecurities and our doubts when it comes to the business, because people have negative things that they think because they don't know. People fear the unknown. So just if we're keeping along with that analogy, nobody talked us out of finishing 21 Day Fix or, T25. So don't let them talk you out of continuing to work the business and do what you're doing and helping other people. Because obviously, that's bottom line what we're doing. So, overcoming objections. Two biggest objections: I don't have the money and I don't have the time, right? Those are the big ones. So overcoming somebody's objection that they give you is really all about asking the right questions. So instead of, just responding like, oh, no, that sucks. Sorry. I wish it would work out this time or right now, or trying to like sell them on what it was that worked for us. Like, make it about them. Don't make it about you. Like, yes, you have experienced success, but that's probably why we're talking to them anyways. They know that. We've put it out there. We've had the conversation. They know that. But make it about them and ask the right questions about their life. So I don't have money. Okay, so that's the big one, or that's a big one. I just don't even have the money to get started. Like, I'm afraid, $150 or $60 for a challenge pack, that's too much right now. I don't want to have to pay for Shakeology each month, whatever. And really, the business costs associated are so minimal in comparison to a lot of other companies. So the big one is just that initial investment. So the questions that you can ask are, where would you like your life to be in a year from now? Where do you see it? Like, if you could envision, the perfect thing in 1 year from now, where would you like your life to be? And this might be a little deep depending on how much of a conversation you've already had with this person. Like, I'm a counselor, whatever. People expect things like that from me. But but that is a good thing. Just get them thinking and let them use their imagination a little bit, because usually people, if I were to answer that question right now, it would be, I would probably not be in a rental house. I would have, my student loan paid off, those types of things. And I think that's kind of what we go to, right? Like, my initial thoughts are, what would I like my life to be in a year from now? I immediately go financial. That's what I think about. So if those are the things they're saying, debt free, I'd like to have a new car, I want to pay for my kids to go to college instead of them have loans, things like that. So then the follow-up question to that is, well, what are you doing now to make sure that happens? Okay. And, they have a job probably, but are they doing anything different now to make their life look that way in a year from what they did, say last year? Chances are they're not actively doing anything to work towards where they would like for their life to be, but they do have a picture of what they want it to be. So then you can ask them, well, if that's the case, this is where you would like for your life to be. You're not currently working on anything that might get you there any quicker, at least, then, would you be willing to make an initial investment of $140 or $160 up front to work towards those things? So another question, like, we're just constantly asking questions, and then that way it's about them, you're leading them, they're involved in the conversation. And we can pretty much guarantee them that if they are, going to put forth any minimal amount of, time and effort and heart, then they're at least going to be closer to that goal than they are right now. We can't tell them that, yes, you're going to, buy a new car in cash next year, obviously. But we can certainly tell them that if they're willing to give it a shot, they're at least going to be closer towards that goal. And really, the potential is unlimited, depending on what they want to do with it. So really, he talks about just finding their pain, and not in like a rough, like open a wound, we don't want to, dig too deep and hurt them, but like really tapping into what's important to them and what matters, and what's their pain, what's their why, what's their drive, like what do they want to change. And then, we show them like, okay, here's your pain, here's what you're dealing with. Then we show them, unfortunately, you're not currently doing anything, to help that. And then we provide them with the solution, which is, the business and how that can help. So tapping into, their pain and their goals, and helping, just kind of bridge that gap. Like, here's where you're at, here's where you want to be. You're not doing anything now, so here's how we can help. So that is just one of the ways in like asking questions that you can work over the I don't have the money. And if you really think about it, most of the people that we're talking to have the money, right? They're just not seeing that it is worth it to them yet. So we have to show them the value. Okay. So what they're saying is, right now, what you're offering me, I don't value it enough to give up that money, because most people are messaging you on an iPhone. They're driving a decent car. They are stopping at Starbucks, more often than they should. Like, there are sacrifices that we can make, but if that's what they're telling you, then they're not seeing the value. They're saying, it's not a priority to me, and I don't value it enough to make some sacrifices in my life to come up with $140. So it's our job to show them, the value, and make it worth their money as well as their time. And just kind of along those lines too, like, we have to just be confident enough in the product that we're not apologizing for that either. And this was something, just straight out of the gate that I think I struggled with a little bit. Like, no apology is necessary that Shakeology costs as much as it does. Like, we know that, right? But sometimes, I don't know, money is a sensitive thing for people. And I always want to be like, sensitive to people's like budget concerns, because I get that. I totally do. I've been there. But really, again, it boils down to they're just not seeing that yet. So we have got to, don't apologize for that. Be confident in it. And just you can just share some of the amazing things, that you and other challengers have, experienced, and the benefits. So just a little side note there for anybody else who might, need to hear that one as well. So that's money. And then time. Time is the other one, right? Because everybody is so busy, right? I'm busy. I don't have any kids. I have no business saying I am busy to 3 moms sitting in front of me, but everyone thinks they're busy. Everyone's schedule is packed. Everyone has a bajillion things, lined up that they have to do. And that is true. But again, that's everyone. Like, if I'm doing this, someone else has time. If Molly's doing it, other people have time, So one of the things that he talked about was, looking at, obviously not their phone, but like, if you look at your phone, okay, the things that you have up on your home screen. I got a little Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Starbucks. And if you scroll through multiple pages, you'll see I have lots of things that I waste my time doing right here on this phone. And yet I am incredibly busy. So we all have time in the day. But again, we are not currently we're not willing to make a sacrifice for that time, right? To do something different. Which, by the way, like, the amount of time that people spend on Facebook, they could also be, earning a little income while they're on Facebook and just sharing a journey, right? So, family, that's a big one. People who have kids, people who have family, they have even, like I said, they have even less time than the rest of us. But anybody you talk to is the busiest person in the world, I promise. So, we really have to help them see that not using family as an excuse, but using family as your reason, as your why, and giving your family the life that they deserve is what he talks about. And that's kind of deep. Some of these things are like, whew, right in there. But I think that's good. Sometimes, people, they really need that. So using your family as your why and your motivation instead of an excuse. So again, asking questions. Well, what are you doing now, to give your family the life that you think they deserve? And are you? I mean, I think you ask any, parent, there's always more that you would want to do, more that you could do. Like if you could give your kids the world, you absolutely would, right? So we are presenting them with an opportunity to do more for their family, to give more. And without necessarily, making a huge sacrifice in time and taking away from them. Because, you can be smart about this and get your work done, in little pockets, like we heard on the National Wake Up Call, 15 minutes here, there, before the kids get up, after they go to sleep, it's totally doable. And then the kind of like bomb dropper he says with this one is, and if, talking about how much time we really do spend, an hour, whatever a day, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on your schedule in the day. But if you don't have an hour or so a day to get healthy and inspire other people, then is your life headed in a direction that you want it to anyways? I thought that was pretty cool. Like if you don't have an hour to spend to help yourself and to help others, like what is going on in your life right now instead? What are you doing? Where are you spending your time? And what's going on that has you so stressed out and so bogged down that you're unable to do that for other people. So, and then, I don't know, that's kind of a bomb drop. I guess you see what they say after that. But so those are, the two big objections is time and money. And I think we get that for both challenge packs as well as coaching. Yeah. So those were those two that he went over. And a couple, I listened to the majority of the questions, but it was a long call, so not all of them. But a lot of the questions were not like specific to objections. He kind of took questions from everything. Right. I know, right? Megan even went to bed. She's like, too much. So that's all on objections that I have. And I just wanted to say one other thing that like Katie was talking about in the beginning with making a coaching post. Okay. It's not something that I have really been comfortable doing a lot of yet. I've kind of been like dabbling and like putting some feelers and like mixing it in with something that is clearly something else and just kind of like dropping things here and there. And, we all have to do things like in our time and in our comfort zone. And I'm a good one for that. So I'm working on it, but it's on my goal list as well to be more intentional about that. But just in the way that we, talk about our fitness programs and our challenge groups and things like that, we do that so that we let people know what we do and what we're offering. Because if I were just posting like sweaty selfies without anything else, people would just be like, yeah, go girl. Like they don't know what I'm what I'm doing. So if you're not posting coaching opportunities, then people don't know that that's a thing. Like we live in a Beachbody world, but there are other people that don't. And they have no idea, like all the ones that order off of Amazon or, just get it from a friend or are already currently in your challenge group and are buying things off of Amazon because it doesn't click to them. And that, there's a part of that that's okay because it means we're doing a good job of not being super salesy. But then, there's the frustrating part too. But yeah, if people don't know what you're offering, then they can't get it from you. Then they're never going to express interest if they don't know that it's even a thing. So just like, we promote, I did 21 Day Fix today, total body cardio and, I had my shake, whatever, we explain it. We tell them what we're doing and we let them know that there's an opportunity for them to join us. And that's how we get people in our challenge groups. And it's the same thing with the coaching opportunity for getting coaches. If you don't let them know that that's a possibility and they're just sitting back and looking, they're like, that's cool what she's doing. If we don't put it out there and invite and let them know, then you're never going to get, anybody to jump on. So, okay, that's all I got.
Love it. Good. And I love the mic drop. Okay, so let's see. I think everybody's in it right now, but maybe I don't know if Kelsey is. I actually think that the book we're reading, GoPro, is really going to play off of what you just did about the objections, because it gives us like step by step of what to say. Wait, what'd you say?
I lost you guys.
Oh, I just said, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
I just said that exactly what you were saying about all the objections is kind of what we're going to be going through in the GoPro book. It like literally tells you step by step how to just like present to people, what to say back, and things like that. So I think that would be really helpful for, facing our objections too that we get all the time. Yeah, do it. I would say you might not want to download it to listen to, because I literally have been like opening up the page that I need when I come across like a conversation that I need help with and looking at what the guy says and using it like that. I don't know if you were thinking about like Audible or something. You can unmute.
So I was thinking about downloading it on my Kindle.
Oh, like to read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do that. I have it on my iPad too. Yeah, I just meant it's probably not a good one to listen to because you'll want to refer back to a lot of stuff. For sure. Yeah, so Kindle's good. You can highlight and stuff.
I can't listen to books anyways. I get distracted and then I'm like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, I know. I like that too. Yeah, so it's a really easy read. It's nothing like earth shattering that's gonna like keep you wanting to read the whole thing in one day, but it's definitely easy to read and it has a lot of great tips in it at the end. Like I think I said when we talked about it before, I think I read it March into April and I used it like literally every conversation I had in April, and it was like a great month. Like I just was able to kind of almost convert everyone that I talked to into something. So I think that would really help like everyone on the team. But yeah, that's all I have for tonight. You guys did awesome, and I really appreciate you sharing all those nuggets and tips from the training group. If we can post our slides in the team page, and if anybody has any questions, they can refer back to Katie, Kyla, or myself on anything for sure, and we'll help out.
Megan, if you give me like an hour in the morning when I get to work, I can make slides real quick to go along with it. I just don't have the capability of sharing them on my iPad, but I would love for people to be able to have that as a quick reference as well.
Okay, well, you don't really have to do it in the morning at work, but whenever you want to, that would be fine. That way people can quick glance and pull things up. Even if you want to, if you don't want to make slides, you could even just make a file section, a document in the team page, like titled objections or something.
Yeah, just take what you already typed, like in our notes.
Yeah.
You could copy and paste.
Yeah, if you did it that way. Right, yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
And then
I really only got fancy because I was up at 3 a.m. with Katie, and she made me feel like I needed to get fancy with the PowerPoint.
I was not up at 3 a.m. I don't know what
I wasn't up with you at 3 a.m. I was just up. And then I saw you at 6, and I was like, I gotta do
that's
something
just how I have to do presentations for work like all the time for my, and that's how I like get my thoughts together. Like I have to put it into, it's just like how my brain works, I think. I don't know, it's just how I do it.
It definitely, it's effective. It works. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the recording.